Hello to my YouTube family. I hope y'all are having a great day today. Um, Thought I would come back today after making the intro to my new vlog. And spend today kind of just talking about my twin pregnancy. So, I was pregnant with twins and I made it to 29 weeks and 1 day before I delivered. I spent a lot of time in doctor's offices. I had my regular OB doctor, and I also had an MFM high risk specialist doctor that I saw. So I started out seeing my OB every 4 weeks, but that quickly turned into every 2 weeks, and then every week. And then with my MFM, I was going to see her every 2 weeks anyway, and they would check on the twins, make sure their blood flow was good, make sure there was no twin to twin, which is where one twin is smaller than the other, or one twin is taking more fluid than the other, and all that was good. They would check their growth, make sure they were growing and measuring on target, which was all well. Every update was great. And then they would check my cervix. Well, in the beginning, my cervix was fine. There was no issue. And then all of a sudden, it just started getting short. And so then I had to start going every week. So I was going every week to the MFM and every other week to the OB. And then when it got below 2, I started having to go to the OB every week too. So I was basically going to both doctors every week. And it was a lot, but you have to do what you have to do to take care of those little ones. And so at some point, I ended up going to the hospital several times before. So I went and I was short, so they sent me to the hospital to monitor contractions, and they were saying you are having contractions, but I didn't feel them or know I was having contractions. And so they would give me medicine and stuff to stop the contractions, and send me home. And then when that was several times I had to do that. And then I went in and I was dilated. And since I was so early, I think I was right at 27 weeks or getting ready to be 28 weeks, and I was dilated 2 centimeters. So I took an ambulance ride to another hospital because the hospital I planned to deliver in couldn't take care of them at such a young gestational age. So what was best for them was to be delivered at a different hospital, which, you know, is kind of sad, but it turned out to be okay. When I got over to that hospital, I found out that my OB who delivered my youngest son worked there 24-hour shifts. And so it was great to get over there and see a familiar face, somebody who knew me, and, you know, he did my C-section the first time. So everything was good. So we got over there and they put me on medicine, magnesium. I had already had my steroid shots to help with the baby's lungs, and everything was good. They stopped the contractions, and I stayed in the hospital about 4 days, and then I didn't dilate anymore. Nothing changed. My water didn't break. So they decided to send me home, and that was on a Saturday. And then I had a doctor's appointment, of course, and I went to the OB on Tuesday, I think, and I had dilated just a little bit more, like 2.5 to 3, from 2 centimeters to 2.5 to 3 centimeters. And so she kind of gave me a choice of what I wanted to do, and I just kind of told her like I wanted to try to hold off and wait it out before I went back to the hospital, but I was a little paranoid because they kept telling me I was having contractions, I was dilated, and I didn't know. So that was kind of scary that like I was actually kind of laboring and never knew or felt any pain. I felt a little bit of pressure, and at one point like some pressure in my bottom, but that was it, like no serious pain. Well, I ended up going to the MFM the next day, and they do the ultrasound to check your cervix. So of course they check the babies, they check their growth, they check their blood flow, they watch them practice breathing, all those things that they do in the ultrasound, and then they check your cervix, or they check my cervix, and I was dilated on the ultrasound like 5 centimeters. So of course they called the OB. Hey, what do you want to do? Well, guess where she was already at? She was at the hospital. So instead of going to the doctor's office, I had to go where? Back to the hospital. Well, this time I knew something was different because they were in such a rush to do everything. I was like, what's really going on? Like, this time is so different. So before the ER could even get me registered in, the nurse was already down there to get me to take me up to labor and delivery. So I'm thinking, okay, this is just normal. Like any other time I come into the hospital, they're going to put me in triage, blase, what they do every time I go to the hospital. Like all the nurses knew my name, how many times I had been there. Well, this time they put me in a labor and delivery room, and I went, something's totally different this time. And so, she checked me, and I was dilated 6 centimeters. So of course they paged the ambulance to take me back. By then this day I was 29 weeks and 1 day. And I rode and got in the ambulance and went to the hospital. And so I'm thinking, okay, they're going to take me into this hospital. They're going to put me back in a room like they did last time. And, all this. Nope. They took me to a different floor, and I went, oh, what floor is this? It was labor and delivery. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what's about to happen? So, this was the second time I go. And guess who comes in the room? My doctor who delivered my youngest son. I said, how ironic. Your shift is always when I get in the hospital. But I was glad and happy that it was somebody I knew, like I said, and he did deliver my twins. So the same doctor got to deliver all my kids, which is exciting, because I thought he was retired and going on, and he was like, nope, I wanted to work, but I didn't want my own practice, so I come in the hospital, I work 24-hour shifts, and that's what he does. And so I promise y'all, within an hour of me getting to the hospital, they had prepped me, got the OR ready. I did have the option. He did give me the option to wait it out in labor and try to deliver them vaginally. But because I had a previous C-section, there was a chance that my uterus could rupture while I was trying to deliver, which would put me in jeopardy and put the babies in jeopardy. So Although I did contemplate it when I first found out I was pregnant, thinking that there was only one baby. But once I found out there was two baby, I was like, nope, I don't think I want to take that chance. There's also the chance with twins, that you could still end up with a C-section, even though like you deliver one vaginally, and then the other one can turn breech. So although they were both head down, my water hadn't broke, I was dilated. Um, I could have probably waited it out and seen if they would stay in there longer, but I would have had to labor and probably get an epidural, and then there was a chance that who would deliver my babies, because so there was a lot of decisions that had to be made and had to be made fast. But at least some of them, were already decisions that I had made and thought about. Although the predicament was supposed to be different, you just never know. And so, anyway, the anesthesiologist came in and talked to me about what they were going to do. And they did give me a spinal instead of an epidural. And they talked about what that was, where the medicine goes straight into your spine. And when I say I would recommend that over epidural any day of the week, if you're getting a C-section, I would ask about it. It works instantly, and it doesn't last long. So he told me, every person is different, but they normally last around 3 hours. Mine lasted a little longer than 3 hours, but nowhere near as long as the epidural. By the end of the night, I had my Foley out. I was up walking around. I got to go up to the NICU to see the babies the same night. I didn't have to wait. And they were like, as soon as you can get feelings in your leg and walk to the wheelchair, you can go see the babies. So that was exciting. And, from a person who did have an epidural and then had a spinal, if you're having a planned C-section, I would definitely recommend asking about that. But overall, the experience of the pregnancy and delivery part was a pretty good experience. You always wish as a parent that you could keep them in as long as possible. But you also have to do what's best for them. And it wasn't like an emergency or like anything was wrong. So I found that to be, a blessing that it didn't have to be rushed, in that they were okay, that we knew they were okay, that they were doing fine. My body just was ready, or they were ready. I'm not sure. But they came out on August 7th, 2019 at 4:15 and 4:16 at 2 pounds and 13 ounces, 13.2 ounces and 13.5 ounces. So they were fine. They came out breathing on their own. They came out crying. And so, they just had to keep them warm. I did get to see them before they left. So it was great that they didn't, you see all these stories where they scurry out with your babies and you don't get to see them or touch them or kiss them or anything. But I did get to do that. And so, that was great. It was amazing. I can't complain. Like I said, you just wish you could keep them in there longer, and they don't have to have NICU time, and they don't have to have these things. But life happens, and you deal with the cards you're dealt. And so that is my journey of my delivery and my pregnancy. I spent the majority of my pregnancy going to doctor's visits in hospitals. I've never been in a hospital so many times ever in my life. But hey, that's a part of it. And so it is a huge difference in carrying one baby versus carrying two babies. A huge difference. And I think if you don't carry twins, you just don't know you just don't know. But it is a huge difference, and I'm glad I got to experience carrying one baby first, before having twins. So, thank y'all for watching and listening. If you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments below, and I will respond. And my next video will be about the first week in the NICU. And I hope to be able to share more pictures with you all, as they are doing amazing and great and growing. And we hope to hit some milestones as we get ready to hit 1 month in the NICU next week. So stay tuned and watch for that video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope this helps and answers some of your questions. And if you want a video about more about what type of medicine they put me on, like I had to have progesterone, and also took a blood pressure medicine to try to stop my contractions while I was at home. And so there was a lot of things that had to be done and took, and all those things to help prolong them staying in there. But my boys just didn't want to stay. They were ready to see the world. So y'all have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and like and share this video. I just hope that going through this journey will help other moms who have twins, who are pregnant with twins, or who have twins or just babies in the NICU. They don't even have to be twins. Help them and show them what to expect, or, I know every pregnancy is different, and so, it's not always what to expect, but there's a different perspective of experiences. And I watch so many videos about people who are pregnant with twins, but never even thinking about the possibility of them having to go into the NICU. Because none of the videos that I watched, they even talked about their babies going into the NICU or when they came home or anything like that. It was just mainly about their pregnancy. So anyway, if there's other questions that you have, other videos that you want me to do to answer some of those questions, just let me know. Message me, comment me below, and I will do it. I promise. So again, y'all have a great night or amazing day, and I'll see you back here later.